In recent years, two of the most significant conflicts dominating global headlines are the war in Ukraine and the ongoing conflicts across the Middle East. At first glance, these wars appear to be separate regional crises driven by different historical grievances, actors, and geopolitical conditions. However, when examined more closely, many analysts and policymakers believe there are deeper strategic connections between them. These connections are not always direct military links, but often involve overlapping global power rivalries, energy markets, alliances, arms transfers, and geopolitical strategies pursued by major powers such as the United States, Russia, China, and regional actors like Iran, Israel, and Turkey. Today we will talk about, are wars in Ukraine and the Middle East connected? So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Understanding the war in Ukraine. The conflict in Ukraine escalated dramatically in February 2022 when Vladimir Putin ordered a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Russia justified the invasion using several arguments, including security concerns regarding NATO expansion and the protection of Russian-speaking populations in eastern Ukraine. However, many Western governments argue that the invasion was a strategic attempt by Russia to reassert influence over former Soviet territories and challenge the post-Cold War international order. The conflict has since evolved into one of the largest wars in Europe since World War II. Ukraine has received significant military, economic, and humanitarian support from Western countries. The United States, along with members of the European Union, has provided billions of dollars in aid, weapon systems, intelligence assistance, and economic sanctions against Russia. This war has not only reshaped European security, but also forced countries around the world to reconsider their geopolitical alliances and military preparedness. The complex landscape of Middle East conflicts. The Middle East has long been one of the most geopolitically volatile regions in the world. The roots of many conflicts there stretch back decades and are shaped by religious divisions, territorial disputes, colonial legacies, and competition for political influence. Recent conflicts include tensions between Israel and Hamas, proxy wars involving Iran and its regional rivals, the long-lasting effects of the Syrian civil war, and instability in countries such as Yemen, Iraq, and Lebanon. The Israel-Hamas war, triggered by attacks launched by Hamas against Israel in October 2023, intensified global attention on the region. Israel's military response in Gaza Strip sparked international debate, humanitarian concerns, and diplomatic tensions across the world. These conflicts have involved multiple regional and global powers, making the Middle East a central arena for international geopolitical competition. Shared global power rivalries. One of the most significant connections between the Ukraine war and Middle East conflicts lies in the broader global power competition between major countries. The United States and its allies largely support Ukraine and also maintain strong strategic partnerships with countries such as Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan. Meanwhile, Russia and Iran have increasingly aligned themselves strategically in several areas. Iran has reportedly provided drones and military equipment that Russia has used in the war in Ukraine, while Russia has cooperated with Iran in Middle Eastern conflicts such as the Syrian war. At the same time, China has sought to position itself as a diplomatic mediator in global conflicts while expanding its economic influence across both Europe and the Middle East. These overlapping alliances create indirect connections between conflicts that might otherwise appear unrelated. Military technology and arms transfers. Another area where the Ukraine war and Middle East conflicts intersect is military technology and arms supply chains. Iran has been widely reported to provide Russia with Shahed-type drones, which Russia has used in attacks on Ukrainian infrastructure. These drones reflect Iran's growing influence in global military technology markets. Similarly, Western weapon systems originally developed for European defense have been supplied to Ukraine, including advanced air defense systems and precision-guided missiles. Many of these weapons technologies have also been tested in Middle Eastern conflicts over the past 2 decades, meaning that battlefields in both regions influence global military innovation. Energy markets and economic impact. The wars in Ukraine and the Middle East are also linked through global energy markets. Russia is one of the world's largest exporters of natural gas and oil. The war in Ukraine triggered widespread sanctions against Russian energy exports, forcing many European countries to search for alternative suppliers. This shift increased the strategic importance of Middle Eastern energy producers such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates. At the same time, instability in the Middle East can disrupt oil production and shipping routes, such as the Strait of Hormuz, which carries a significant portion of global oil supply. As a result, events in either region can have immediate effects on global energy prices, inflation, and economic stability. Political distraction and strategic timing. Some analysts argue that the simultaneous crises may influence the strategic calculations of governments around the world. For example, when global attention is focused heavily on the war in Ukraine, conflicts in the Middle East may receive less diplomatic attention, and vice versa. This shifting focus can affect how quickly international responses are mobilized. Additionally, governments may attempt to exploit geopolitical distractions. Rival powers sometimes use moments of global instability to pursue strategic objectives while the international community is focused elsewhere. The role of international institutions. International organizations have played key roles in responding to both conflicts. The United Nations has repeatedly addressed both the Ukraine war and Middle East conflicts through diplomatic initiatives, humanitarian aid programs, and international law discussions. However, divisions among major powers, particularly between Western countries and Russia or China, have often limited the ability of international institutions to take unified action. This fragmentation reflects a broader challenge facing the global governance system in managing multiple simultaneous crises. Global public opinion and information warfare. Both wars have also become major battlegrounds for information campaigns and public opinion. Governments and media organizations across the world attempt to shape narratives surrounding these conflicts. Social media platforms amplify these narratives, often spreading both accurate information and misinformation. Russia, Western governments, Middle Eastern actors, and other international players all use digital platforms to influence global perceptions and political debates about these wars. This information warfare adds another layer of connection between conflicts occurring in different parts of the world. The future of global conflict dynamics. The wars in Ukraine and the Middle East illustrate how modern conflicts are rarely isolated events. Instead, they exist within a complex network of global political, economic, and military relationships. Future developments in either region could significantly affect the other. Escalations in one conflict might shift military resources, diplomatic priorities, or economic pressures worldwide. Understanding these connections helps policymakers, analysts, and the public better interpret global events and anticipate potential geopolitical shifts. While the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East originate from different historical and regional contexts, they are increasingly linked through global power competition, military alliances, energy markets, and geopolitical strategy. Major powers such as the United States, Russia, China, and regional actors including Iran and Israel all play roles in shaping how these conflicts evolve. Although the two wars are not directly connected on the battlefield, their strategic implications are deeply intertwined within the broader framework of global politics. As the international system continues to change, the interactions between regional conflicts and global rivalries will likely become even more complex. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.